It is Monday, the 22nd of July, 2024. My name is Pigeon and this is my song of the day. It's the start of another week here, and this week we're talking about the magnetic fields, because I haven't talked about them on this show yet. I kept meaning to, and I kept not doing it. Specifically, all the 7 songs we'll be doing this week will be from the album 69 Love Songs from 1999. Stephen Merritt is the primary songwriter of The Magnetic Fields and the primary vocalist as well, although this album contains many, many vocalists. His original idea was to do 100 songs, and then he realized that was ridiculously long, so he settled with doing less. Apparently, he landed on 69 because it's a fun number to draw, but I mean, it could be the other meaning as well, but he said it isn't, and I would be inclined to believe him, but also I know what kind of things he writes. But yeah, originally the idea was that it would be a theatrical review with 4 drag queens performing different songs, and then it just turned into this album of 69 songs, generally separated into 3 volumes, CD1, CD2, CD3, although you can also get vinyls. I have the CDs. I really want the vinyls, but they're fucking expensive because it's so long. I mean, all told, this album is 172 minutes and 3 seconds, according to Wikipedia, which is just shy of 3 hours, so it's a long album. So this week we're going to be talking about 7 of my favorites. They're not all my favorites, obviously, but just 7 ones that I love quite a lot and I'm interested to talk about. The first one we're talking about is called I Don't Want to Get Over You. It's one of the most popular songs on the album, I would say, along with like Book of Love, Papa Was a Rodeo, if you're a fan. The Luckiest Guy on the Lower East Side has gotten some traction in recent years as well, especially because it's referenced in Wonder. But yeah, we're going to talk about I Don't Want to Get Over You. I don't think I'll give any more preface. I think I'll just let it speak for itself, and then I'll speak for it as well. So let's listen to it now and then come back in a few minutes and talk about it. I should also mention, I suppose, that generally magnetic field songs are quite short. Not always. This is a pretty short one. I think Papa Was a Rodeo is probably the longest song on the album and is also one I'll be talking about later. And there's also some really, really short ones like Punk Rock Love, Experimental Music Love, How Fucking Romantic. But this one's just like pretty standard, 2 minutes 22. Magnetic Fields, They Might Be Giants, people like that tend to do shorter songs. And I enjoy it. There's part of me that's like, oh, I wish it went on for longer, but also it says what it says and you get it. Maybe making it longer wouldn't work, you know? The song is however long it needs to be. So, if you're unfamiliar with the Magnetic Fields and Stephen Merritt's songwriting, he is just so full of sarcasm and wit and satirical tone, and his lyrics generally have this kind of dry, sardonic feel to them, you know? And the whole thing about it being 69 love songs is that it's not that their songs are love songs, it's that the songs are about love songs. It's kind of a very self-aware meta twisting of the typical romantic tropes, and so a lot of them are breakup songs or are obsessive songs or are just expressing love in really weird ways. Like there's a song called Yeah Oh Yeah, which is a couple argument that turns into murder. Like, you know, I wouldn't call it a love song, but it's a song about love songs, you know? So, in this instance, I Don't Want to Get Over You is a song about a breakup and the person not wanting to move on. They, throughout the lyrics, are just like blowing it off and not being very convincing. I'm saying they, by the way, because Stephen Merritt is generally, he's stated before that he generally doesn't use gendered pronouns when writing his songs, because even though they're often in a character voice, he feels like the experiences are generally universal enough that it doesn't matter who's narrating it. There are exceptions, of course, like Papa Was a Rodeo and Yeah Oh Yeah, but this is another case of that. The narrator and the person they don't want to get over are never gendered, which I think is a really interesting way to do it. Now, I do the same a lot in my stories. I write a lot in second person, which is generally what you hear a lot in songs. But anyway, we're going to go through the lyrics here. I don't want to get over you. I guess I could take a sleeping pill and sleep at will and not have to go through what I go through. I guess I should take Prozac, right, and just smile all night at somebody new. So he immediately starts throwing up these ideas. I guess I could take a sleeping pill. Just fall asleep and ignore it. And it's a very clear non-solution, right? He's saying I could go to sleep and just pretend it's not happening, not have to go through what I go through. That's not a solution. They suggest an antidepressant, right? Which probably would be more helpful, frankly. Then he says, just smile all night at somebody new. Somebody not too bright but sweet and kind who would try to get you off my mind. I could leave this agony behind, which is just what I'd do if I wanted to, but I don't want to get over you. So I like this I think this is kind of what caught my attention the first time. Well, apart from the mention of Prozac, but what caught my attention here is he suggests the idea that, like, well, if I was trying to get over you, I could just move on and go out with someone else. And it's somebody not too bright, but sweet and kind. Is such a telling lyric, right? I don't need someone who's intelligent. I just need someone who will treat me nicely and who would try to get you off my mind. It kind of implies like a hookup rather than a relationship, you know? And it's just, you can just feel how hollow it is because he immediately is like, somebody not too bright. It's just so mean. I was gonna suggest a song this reminds me of, but I Googled the lyric that I was thinking of and I can't find the song, so I have no idea what it was. But there's like a song about moving on to a new relationship and you're clearly just trying to fill the void. You're trying to find someone who is like your previous partner, and the lyric is, this one barely even looks like you. I don't know why I can hear it in my head. I feel like it's a pretty popular song. Hey, it's Future Pidge here. Shocking no one, when I came to editing this episode and I listened to me trying to figure out what the song was, I remembered what the song was. It's I Don't Really Mind by Andrew Wong. Not a popular song at all. Not even one of his more well-known ones. It was one of the ones he made while he was doing Songs to Wear Pants To, where he would like get commissioned to make songs. So the lyrics for this song were actually written by a guy called Lance Campbell. But anyway, the lyric I was thinking of was, this one knows the pain that I've been through, and this one hardly even looks like you. You get why I thought of that lyric. The whole song is about seeing someone with their new partner and insisting, I don't really mind, but like, is that really true? You might mind. Anyway, back to the old recording of the episode. But yeah, just that idea of not really moving on by moving on. And then he says, yeah, which is just what I'd do if I wanted to, but I don't want to get over you. So just reaffirming what he said before. Because I don't want to get over love. I could listen to my therapist, pretend you don't exist, and not have to dream of what I dream of. I could listen to all my friends and go out again and pretend it's enough. So now he's talking about trying to, go to therapy and, again, ignore it or just push it down. And also talking about going out again and pretending it's enough. Like trying to go out partying, go out drinking, maybe meet new people and pretend that that's any compensation, but it isn't for him because he wants to be with this person. And then, or I could make a career of being blue. I could dress in black and read Camus, smoke clove cigarettes and drink vermouth like I was 17. That would be a scream, but I don't want to get over you. Now, let's talk about this. I always thought this was a very clever lyric, and I still do. I still do, but I used to too. Because I like when cultural references are very clear like that in a song. And also very specific imagery with like clove cigarettes and drinking vermouth. Calling to mind a very specific brand of pretentious emo teenager, or like early college student. Especially because I discovered this song. I would have been like 18, 19 when I discovered this album. So I could certainly resonate with what was being sung here in a kind of a silly way. The mention of Camus I wanted to mention because Camus was an author, journalist, and philosopher. He famously wrote a book called The Stranger. We talked about The Stranger a bit in the writing literature course I did in college, and I brought this up to my teacher, and he enjoyed this lyric here. But according to Genius, this is specifically a reference because Stephen Merritt is a gay man. Apparently, during the AIDS epidemic, there would be gay goths who were losing their friends to AIDS, and they would dress in black and read The Plague by Albert Camus in public. I don't know how much truth there is to this. It's just a Genius annotation, but I think it's an interesting idea to put that reference in considering the context of it. I also enjoy how he rhymes like I was 17 with that would be a scream. It's such, I think what helps Merritt's sarcastic songwriting is his voice, because he's got this real deep down dour voice. Listen, the snow is falling all the time. You should listen to his cover of Listen, the Snow is Falling. It's really good. And it really adds to it because his voice makes him sound depressed all the time. When he sings something like this, talking about how that would be a scream is such a excitable, oh, that would be crazy. That would be so much fun. But it's, that would be a scream. He's not having fun. It really underlines the kind of the theme of the song where it has this kind of darkly comic vibe to it, but it's this thing of how the singer is not being sincere. He doesn't want to get over this person, and these ideas that he's bringing up are just they're just him kind of venting frustration. He doesn't actually want to do any of these things. He doesn't want to get over this person. And I really like this song top to bottom. The lyrics are just really clever. And I think it was a good one to start with here because it's very indicative of his style, and also he's the one singing it. And also musically, you just got kind of the guitar, but you've also got the weird electronic noises, which they love to do in their songs. Like, you've got guitar doing it, but you've also got this weird kind of pulsating synth going all over the place. Yeah, I think just really emblematic of their music. This is the 6th track on the first CD, by the way, so it's pretty early on in the album, and I think it does kind of set up the rest of the album quite well. I think that's pretty much it for today. Thank you so much for listening. Please give me a like, hit subscribe, leave a comment, tell people about this show, whatever you feel like. Hit that share button, baby. Tomorrow we'll be continuing with more magnetic fields. So thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
Break it down.